There are days in court that arrive quietly, slipping into place like any other weekday, predictable and procedural. And then there are days that announce themselves without sound. This was the second kind, the kind where the air feels arranged before anyone speaks, where hallways are cleared not out of fear, but out of anticipation, where conversations stop mid-sentence when a door opens, where everyone senses that something delicate, something heavy, is about to be placed on the table. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments where you are watching from. We would love to see how far this conversation is reaching. I noticed the shift early. Security requested authorization to restrict access along one corridor, not because of danger, not because of threats, but because visibility needed to be controlled. That detail matters. Systems only protect sight lines when reputation is involved, when perception itself becomes part of the proceeding. Then the clerk handed me the docket. A name sat there, still ink on paper, yet already weighing more than the rest combined. Not because of what the individual had done, but because of what the name carried with it into the room. History, expectation, inheritance that was never voted on, yet never questioned. No one gasped. No one whispered. They did not need to. Everyone understood. She entered without spectacle. No press frenzy, no dramatic pause, no protective formation flooding the aisles. Just a young woman moving with practiced composure, dressed with intention, but not excess, posture straight, steps measured. Her expression was calm, controlled, unreadable in the way people become when they grow up learning that every look will be interpreted. She did not look defiant. She did not look afraid. She looked accustomed. That distinction matters. She took her seat at the defense table and folded her hands, eyes forward, shoulders steady. Confidence without carelessness. Assurance without apology. This was not arrogance. It was something subtler and more dangerous. Expectation. The quiet belief that rooms tend to adjust themselves around you, and often they do. In the gallery near the front row sat another woman. She was the kind of person courts see every day and history rarely remembers. Late 30s. Clothing chosen for respectability rather than style. Shoulders slightly hunched, not from age, but from exhaustion. Her eyes carried the dull glaze of someone who had not slept well in weeks. Her name was Angela Brooks. She was not powerful. She was not protected. She was not prepared for the gravity that had entered the room behind her. She was simply tired. Tired in the way people become when they have done what they believed was right and discovered that rightness does not always come with allies. The matter before the court was not criminal. There were no allegations that would lead to handcuffs or sirens, no statutes that would thrill commentators or satisfy those who equate justice with punishment. This was something quieter, retaliatory influence, the kind of pressure that never announces itself, the kind that leaves no bruises, no recorded threats, no explicit commands, the kind that works because everyone understands what is being implied without anyone daring to say it aloud. I called the court to order. The routine words sounded heavier than usual. Then I looked at the defendant. "Do you understand why you are here?" She nodded once. "Yes, Your Honor." No tremor, no hesitation, no attempt to soften the response. Certainty sat in her voice like a given. Her attorney stood immediately, polished, controlled, confident in the way people are when they believe the ground beneath them is reinforced by more than law. He spoke of misunderstandings, of misinterpretations amplified by a surname that invited assumptions. He framed the issue as projection rather than conduct. I let him finish. Then I did something that shifted the room. I turned away from the defense table and addressed the woman in the gallery. "Miss Brooks, please come forward." She rose slowly, as though standing too quickly might turn the moment irreversible. Her hands trembled slightly as she approached the podium, not from fear of the court, but from the weight of finally being seen. "Tell us what happened." Her voice was soft at first, measured, careful. She spoke of her work, leading a housing nonprofit, of grant funding tied to a cultural initiative connected to a prominent foundation, of compliance reviews, of noticing discrepancies that mattered, not because they were dramatic, but because they were wrong. When she raised concerns, she was encouraged to reconsider her interpretation. Encouraged is a generous word. It often is. Then came the call. From whom? She looked toward the defense table. The room did not move, but it changed. She described the conversation: polite, complimentary, almost friendly. Praise for her dedication. Admiration for her professionalism. Then gently, deliberately, the pivot. Some people know how to apply pressure without raising their voice. Some understand that suggestion can be sharper than command. She quoted the line that had lodged itself into her memory, refusing to fade. "People who create friction around my family initiatives do not usually remain in leadership very long." No threat, no demand, just a statement presented as observation. Silence followed, the kind that presses inward rather than outward. I turned to the defendant. "Do you deny making that call?" "No, Your Honor." The answer was immediate. "But I deny any intent to threaten." I was speaking generally. Intent is rarely announced. What happened next? The funding was frozen. Board members received communications. Meetings were held without her. 3 weeks later, she was asked to resign. "Why did you not contest it?" She laughed once, quietly, not because it was funny, because it was obvious. "Everyone told me the same thing. You do not fight this. You do not win." That sentence landed harder than any accusation. This case was never about anger. It was about gravity, about whether influence, when applied softly, still counts as force, about whether a system that bends without being pushed can pretend it was never touched. We reviewed the records, emails, call logs, internal memos. Documents do not argue. They wait. The timeline was clear. A call, an advisory email, a grant freeze. Language that spoke of alignment and reputation, of complications and optics, not coincidence, coordination. The defense objected.